It was 2014 and I was in the 11th grade. I had gotten an invite to a house party from one of the seniors on my high school soccer team. Since I had played on the team throughout my high school career, I had gotten pretty close with some of the upperclassmen. So every once in a while, I'd get an invite to one of their parties thrown my way. This senior class was notorious for throwing extremely rowdy house parties. One party got so bad that it even made the local news because of how many thousands of dollars of jewelry were stolen. Most of the time, I'd tell them I'd think about it and then end up not going because I never felt like I was comfortable enough to the point where I could go to a party filled with upperclassmen and know how to act or what to say. But this time, I finally decided to muster up the courage and take myself to the party. When I arrived, I was greeted at the door by the guy who invited me, and he immediately handed me a beer. And there was no way I had the confidence to say no, even if I wanted to. For the next hour or so, I tried to linger around the couple seniors that I knew the best and continued to chug beers in an effort to fit in. But I hadn't stepped outside that zone of comfort at all. It was then that one of them said, "Yo, we're about to hit the ganj upstairs. You trying to join us?" Now, at this time, I was a massive stoner, so I wasn't foreign to a request like this. In my head, I figured, well, maybe the green will help loosen me up a little bit, it will make me stop overthinking and push me to talk to new people. So, I agreed. We hid ourselves away in a small, dimly lit room in the attic, and all four of us up there huddled around the table as the things were being rolled up. I took a hit, and then it got passed around again, and I didn't want to say no because then I'd look like a coward, so I took another, and another, and another, and before I knew it, I was absolutely blasted. My brain could barely spit out the words required to form one coherent sentence to the three other people in the room, let alone an entire goddamn party downstairs. And so, for the rest of the night, I locked myself in that room while groups of 2 or 3 came in and out to smoke, and I sat in the corner in a large rocking chair, zonked out of my mind. After a couple hours of this, I decided to slither out of the house without saying goodbye to anyone, go home, and crawl into my bed a defeated man. Have you ever envisioned the ideal scenario of how a party or a date or any other social event could go, and that vision really hypes you up and gives you a small boost of confidence before it even starts? Well, that's how I felt about this party, and it's part of the reason why I even had the courage to attend in the first place. I was thinking in my head of how I'd walk in and immediately play some cool drinking game with everyone, and then I'd win that drinking game and everyone would cheer me on. And then maybe I'd meet a cute girl and flirt with her after that victory and be the absolute man. I didn't realize it at the time, but this made-up scenario in my head was a silent promise that I made to myself. By thinking of how that party could go, I was subconsciously telling myself what I would do while at the party. When I didn't fulfill my silent promises, I would beat myself up for it. And this was the key to understanding self-confidence that I wish I had known back then. When most people think of what confidence looks like, they associate it with a powerful posture, open hand movements, and someone who can effortlessly talk to anyone, no matter how attractive they are. While those can be important features of a confident person, it doesn't exactly explain how one gets to the point of exuding those confident characteristics. When I was in my early teens and 20s, I would practice these types of movements and gestures pretty consistently because I was under the impression you just had to fake it till you made it. As long as I kept reminding myself to have an open posture and talk with my hands and smile and nod, people would perceive me as confident. It was a good start, and fake it till you make it can be great advice under certain circumstances, but that surface level stuff was never able to fix the root of my confidence problems. Not only that, but my total lack of quality sleep made it much more difficult for me to socialize and not get anxious or stressed when I was conversing with people. My diet was undoubtedly very poor back then, and my mineral levels, specifically my magnesium levels, were causing me to have bad sleep, fatigue, stress, and lower testosterone. And if you are struggling with getting quality sleep and managing your stress, then Magnesium Breakthrough could help. Around 50% of Americans are deficient in magnesium, and this mineral is key for sleep, stress, and even your testosterone levels. Magnesium Breakthrough combines all 7 essential forms of magnesium into one effective supplement, and it contains no synthetics or preservatives, unlike most magnesium supplements. I've been using Magnesium Breakthrough for about 5 months now, and I've noticed that not only is the quality of my sleep better, but I also fall asleep quicker. So if you're interested in improving your sleep, stress levels, and testosterone levels, you can can go to magnesiumbreakthrough.com/Cole to get a 10% discount with the coupon code COLE10. Link is in the description to that, and thank you to Bioptimizers for sponsoring this video. So up until that point in my life, I had never really set any challenging goals for myself. Or if I did, they would be near impossible and I'd never come close to completing them. The entirety of that party is the perfect summary of how I would go throughout life. I'd envision an unrealistic scenario, get into the real scenario and let others push me around and tell me what to do because I had no self-respect, be upset with my lack of assertive direction, lose some confidence because of it, and repeat. And by consistently allowing myself to be pushed around by life, and by breaking my silent promises over and over, I was unconsciously reinforcing the idea that I was not a confident person. Every day, we all make these promises to ourselves, whether subconsciously or consciously. When we tell ourselves we will do the dishes and then leave them until the next day, we are breaking a promise to ourselves. When we say that this will be the day we finally push through our social anxiety and talk to our crush, but we don't, that's another promise broken. And when we have high expectations of how we will act at a certain event or what we will achieve in a certain time frame, and we don't get close to those expectations, we are silently telling ourselves we are incapable of keeping our own promises. Little by little, these broken promises pile up and fuel our perceived confidence levels. Because the very essence of confidence lies in its Latin origin. The word confidence comes from a Latin word fidele, which means to trust, and therefore having self-confidence is having trust in oneself. By saying you're gonna do something and not doing it, or telling yourself how something will go and it not going at all like you had planned, you are telling yourself that you do not trust yourself. So now that we know that, what can you do right now? I want you to objectively look at where you're at and how you feel about yourself. Based on where you currently are, what's a feasible promise you can make to yourself that you know you can accomplish pretty easily? Maybe it's to clean your room by the end of the day, talk to one random person, or if you were like me before that party, to talk to just 2 people you don't know and not expect anything more. Whatever it is, promise yourself that you will do it and make sure that you follow through. Then think of something that will take more than just one immediate action. Promise yourself that you will go to the gym at least 3 times this week, or that you will only eat junk food on the weekends for the next month, or that you'll put in at least 20 hours this month on that side hustle you want to make into a career. And again, make sure you follow through and keep that promise. You don't have to follow exactly what you said you were going to do, but you should at least be getting close if you want to start trusting yourself. Lastly, think about what you want your future to look like. Where is it that you want to be? What type of success do you want to have, and what will it take to get there? Write down these more audacious goals that may take years to complete and consistently put in the effort to get there one day. Little by little, as you work through these small, medium, and large promises that you make to yourself, you will start to build up that trust that you were consistently breaking and ruining for the first 10, 20, or 30 years of your life. And you will start to have more and more faith in your abilities to do what you promised you would do, no matter what the outcome may be. I hadn't realized it at the time, but when I first started my self-improvement journey in 2017, I was doing this exact same thing. A couple days ago, when I was scrolling through my mail app, I realized there was a tab you could click on in your Gmail called Notes. Apparently, your notes from your iPhone Notes app get saved there and stay there permanently, even when you lose your old phone. And what I found in there shocked me. There was a note from 4 years ago in 2018 where I wrote down exactly what I just told you all here. I wrote down some of my big goals, like the title of the book I eventually wanted to write, the changes I wanted to see in my behavior, what I wanted out of my life, and the small steps I was going to take to get there. And I kept pretty much every single promise to myself from 4 years ago. I wrote that book in 2020. My YouTube channel became successful. I stopped smoking the green. I did the research I needed to do. I became more outgoing and sociable, and I created a fulfilling relationship. When I reflected back on everything I had told myself I'd do, and I realized that I had actually done all of it, it made me fully understand why I am the confident, evolved person I am today. I told myself, this is what I want, this is how I'm going to structure my life to get there, and I will get there no matter how long it takes. And it all started with one small promise. Much of the other aspects of my high self-confidence also came from my ability to improve my self-awareness and learn to regulate my emotions. If you're interested in exploring the topic of confidence more and every other aspect of improving yourself, then please go check out the brand new Ultimate Self-Mastery course that I just dropped on my website. It contains everything I've learned in the past 5 years of self-improvement, and I spent over 500 hours compiling it. If you are interested in that, the link will be in the description. As always, thank you to all the patrons on this channel on Patreon. I appreciate you guys supporting me, and that's going to be it for this video. If you want to watch another video I've made on confidence that involves a certain mindset that you can adopt, check out this one right here. I'm signing off. Thank you guys for watching. Love ya. Peace.